The movie starting by recounting an ancient Japanese folktale. In the past, Japan was filled with witches, demons, and honorable samurai. During this era, Emperor Shogun Ieyasu governed all of Japan. Overseeing a land divided into numerous provinces, it frequently clashed with one another. These provinces have serious traditions, including districts' prohibition against granting nobility to foreigners or those of mixed heritage. For samurai, failure to protect their master would result in the loss of their esteemed status as samurai. They would then be demoted to the rank of Ronin warriors, who had either lost or been separated from their lord. However, to truly understand the legend of the 47 Ronin, one must delve into the story that lies at its core. The tale begins with a young boy named Kai fleeing through the woods and fear. With his origin a mystery to our locals, believe he was raised by dark entities deep within the Tango Forest. Their names were more Fierce Trinity and Bill. Eventually, Kai collapses near a creek in Oko province where a group of samurai stumble upon him. One of them, Arwishi, notices strange claw marks on the back of Kai's head. This makes him suspect that the boy is linked to sinister forces, or he's been jacking in, and tries to attack him about before he can do so. If the leader of AK, Lord Isano, arrives and takes Kai away like in their province, Lord Asano allows Kai to live in a modest hut within his territory. He also takes care of the boy by providing with food and other amenities. Over time, Kai forms a close relationship with Lord Asano or daughter Mika, but their love is complicated due to their differences in status, which bars Kai from marrying into the noble class. The other samurai also look down upon him due to his mixed heritage, derogatorily referring to him as a half-breed. He's not the one, he has only one half. 10 years pass, and Kai is now become an adult. One day the samurai find themselves deep in the forest hunting down the ball demon. This six-sided beast is so big and powerful that it easily throws away the horses coming in its way. It then goes on a rampage through the forest and corners a samurai named Yasuno, but before it can finish him off, Kira to the rescue and thrusts his sword into the creature's chest, finally killing it. Following the bull's defeat, Kai proceeds to check on Yasuno, but the latter belittle harshly. He goes on to express his disgust, stating he would rather face death at the hands of the ball than accept help from "So I'm one of mixed blood." At moments later, Lord Asano and Oshi arrive offering prayers to Yasuno for supposedly killing the ball. The samurai also doesn't reveal the truth, and he acts like he was the one who got the job done. However, when Always observes Kai's hands, he realizes that it was him who defeated the bot. Those hands have definitely recently handled huge balls. In the meantime, Kai spot a unique white fox in the distance with one eye shiny gold and the other blue. However, he doesn't pay much attention to it. He simply heads back to his hut. Once back at the kingdom, Lord Asano meets with Mika for an important conversation. He reveals that the Emperor Shogun has chosen Ako province for the annual fighting tournament where they will confront their rivals from the Gado prob that's led by Lord Kira. This will be a very important tournament for them, and they must do everything in their power to win it. Later that same night, Make sneaks out of our kingdom to visit at his hut. She notices a wound on his back and tries to tend to it, but he insists that she return home. Despite their deep feelings for each other, Guy acknowledges that his mixed heritage and Make his royal lineage stands as an undeniable obstacle between them. Elsewhere, the peculiar white fox transforms and unveils her true form as a stunning woman named Mitsuki. And maybe furries have a point, she is actually a magician. Loyal to Lord Kira, the day before the tournament, both Emperor Shogun and Lord Kira make their way to Oko province. Lord Asano and a samurai organize a fast of gathering to formally greet the Emperor. Meanwhile, Kai secretly watches the ceremony unfold from within the kingdom. During there, she catches sight of a woman whose eyes are the distinctive blend of blue and gold as seen in the white fox. Kai then confides in Ohishi, revealing his suspicion that one of Lord Kira's concubines is a witch with mystical powers. However, the samurai dismisses his concerns, reminding him that only demons can recognize a witch's true identity. Kai's got that daemon and him. The following day, as the tournament is about to begin, a fighter representing Lord Kira's province comes onto the field. Yasuno is chosen to represent the Iko province, and he is currently meditating in his room. Just then the mysterious white fox shows up and renders him on guard with a spell. He is found in this state a few minutes later by Oishi's son Shikora and Guy. With time running out for the tournament, the two fear that Lord Asano will be humiliated if they fail to present a fighter. Thus Kai decides to go to the battlefield himself. He then dons the samurai armor and hides his identity behind an Iran helmet. Unfortunately, during the intense battle, Kai faces a relentless onslaught from Lord Curious Fighter. He is then thrown into the air, which results in his mask coming off. The entire audience is shocked to learn that it was Kai fighting under the armor all along, and Emperor Shogun also realizes that is not a samurai, so he orders the other fighters to execute him but before our hero can be finished off, Mika leaves to save him. Florida Sano then pleads for forgiveness and takes full responsibility for the incident, so the emperor lessens the punishment to a public beating. The night Mitsuki senses Lord Asana's vulnerability and discuss her plans to seize control of AK. She then performs a magical ritual on Lord Kira and extracts a purple liquid from him. She, with a sinister whisper, she transforms the liquid into a poisonous spider which also has 6 eyes. His cheeky spider slowly goes to Lord Asana, an infection with its poison. As a result, the old man begins to hallucinate his daughter Mika being under attack by Lord Kira. Reacting instinctively, he wields his sword to defend her, unaware that his actions are real while the rest is an illusion. Kiana hurts the man, but the other samurai quickly restrain him. Akira that starts playing the victim and acts traumatized. After the commotion settles down, Orishi notices some kind of fog lifting from his son has eyes. In the aftermath of this incident, Emperor Shogun gives his son of the death penalty due to his unprovoked attack on a guest, but he has allowed to commit the unthinkable by thrusting his sword into his own stomach. This will apparently help regain his honor. Lord Asana accepts the punishments and asks Ohishi to act as his second. He also bids farewell to his daughter before committing seppuku. Following the events, the Emperor Shogun declares the Iko samurai as Ronin, stripping them of their former status. He also commands Mika to wear the Lord Kira and stay as a cop. As the days pass, Kira seizes control of the province and expels all the samurai. He also banishes kind of servitude on Dutch Island as a slave and directors samurai to confine Onishi to a pet. The movie then cuts to a year later. Ohishi has released from prison and exiled to a distant village where he reunites with his wife and their son. Shikora inform him of Lord Kira's marriage to Mika and Kai's enslavement on Dutch Island. In response, Orishi tasks Kira with gathering 3 horses and rallying the remaining Ronin to assemble at the Black Lake. He then sets off to Dutch Island to save his long-lost, but upon his arrival, Oishi notices Kai engaging in an intense duel. Turns out he has become a fighter in this part of the world, a very ruthless one at that. Way she later meets him and asks him to join him in their mission. He says that they have to eliminate Lord Kira and take their land back from him. At first, Kira refuses, saying he doesn't want to go back to their village, but when Ohishi explains that Mika urgently needs him, he says, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back." The two then sneak out the facility and successfully flee the island. During their meeting with the remaining Ronin, Ohishi says that he has a plan to take down Kira, for that he needs all of the Ronin to fight together with all their might. He also highlights the dangers that they will be facing throughout their journey, claiming that they might even die. However, the men are determined to fight for their land and take it back. After the short speech, Ohishi consults a map and plans to lead them to Etsu village, as village is famous for making sword. It is exactly what they need right now. He then assigns Seinzer on a Navy SEAL guide to infiltrate the shrine and Lord Kira's palace to gather crucial information. Elsewhere, Lord Kira against the news that Ohishi has been released from prison and is now planning to retaliate. This makes you nervous, so he ideally orders Miki to eliminate the threat. Elsewhere, Ohishi and the Ronin arrive at Uetsu village, where they encounter a bunch of enemies. Bad guy quickly takes them down with his impressive skills, allowing the group to spend the night in the village. Later, he explains that they sadly won't find any weapons here as Kira has taken over the village. He claims that they will never be able to get their land back without any weapons. However, Guy has an idea in mind. He proposes that they venture into the heart of the Tango Forest where they can acquire swords. The others ask he knows about it, and Cairo versus that he was brought up by a demonic figure in the forest granted him combat skills and mystical knowledge. My dad was a demon. Kai claims that he knows magic that will only use it in dire circumstances. Hearing all this, Ohishi is a bit perplexed by he agrees to set off for the Tango Forest. In the meantime, Guy successfully infiltrates Lord Kira's palace, where he encounters Mitsuki disguised as a comfort woman. The following day, our heroes arrive at the Tango Forest and discover an ancient temple where Kai once left. He then leads Ohishi inside while the remaining Ronin decide to wait. Along the way, Guy warns his friend against drawing his sword even in the face of danger, case going to get everyone killed. Inside the temple, they witness the Tango bowing before a large statue. Kai then goes to a secret chamber alone where a sword is lodged. He's soon visited by a Tango god. He reveals Kai's origins as the child of farmers and an Englishman. It turns out that his family were rejected by the community and they were taken in by the Tango god for training in the temple kind, and asserts that he's come here to retrieve this sword, but the Tango god says that he has to earn it aside the rest of their own and grow restless as they believe Kaya's lead them to a trap. They enter the cave and immediately get their swords, and fortunately this proves to be a fatal decision as the Tango people start attacking them ruthlessly. Wei Shi, who is observing all this, starts hearing voices in his head as well. The voice asked him to bring out his sword and help his friends. However, Ohi Shi remains resolute in his decision and sadly watches his friends die one after another. Way to go. High inside the chamber, Kai engages in a duel with the Tango god and surprisingly manages to defeat him. Using his shadow techniques, this earns him the respect of the god as well as the sword. I like the of your jib accountable. And Saido, Shi notices that all the Ronin have been seemingly replaced by Tango. Sources make some realize that he was hallucinating all this time, and the whole scenario was only a test to check his patience. After gathering the swords, the two friends then exit the temple. Kai then demonstrates the power of the Tangyu sword by effortlessly slicing through tree trunks. Still couldn't put a dent in my dad demon did. Once the group reaches the US villages, Guy informed them that Lord Kira is planning to visit his ancestral shrine later that evening. He suggests that they all sneak into the place and finish him off, as she is immediately on board with the planet, but he doesn't realize the same fog lifting over Guy's eyes that night. Run and slowly make their way towards the shrine. They spot Lord Kira in prayer and prepare to attack, but this is when Guy abruptly falls ill and collapses. It turns out the entire thing was a setup. Mitsuki then shows up and down is all the Ronin in fire with just a mere gesture of her hands. This kills many men, but always she had a few others somehow managed to escape when the flames died out. Mitsuki, assuming as she died in the fire, takes his sword and gives it to Lord Kira. The following day, Guy and Shikara encounter a group of dancers bound for Lord Kohir his palace. Realizing that it might be an opportunity to infiltrate the place, they ask the dancers to hide the Ronin amidst the group. The dancers are reluctant at first as it is a dangerous mission, but upon much persuasion and Jin is much she's more charmed to agree. It is then revealed that Kira and Mika are finally getting married, so there will be a huge feast in their name. In the now 16, we are taken to the night of the wedding. Ohi Shi and several Ronin infiltrate the palace disguised as dancers, while others stealthily dispatch Lord Curious guards. However, during Wei Shi's performance, a palace guard exposes his disguise by shooting an arrow at him. This causes a fight to break out between the two parties, but our heroes eventually manage to defeat the enemies. Witnessing the chaos, Lord Yer tries to run away with Migad, but she breaks free from him and goes in a separate direction. She eventually reunites with her love Guy and they share a heartfelt embrace. However, their emotional moment doesn't last long as they are soon interrupted by Mitsuki in her white dragon form. A fierce battle that ensues between her and Guy, with both of them appearing equally matched. She spits fire at En, but he manages to deflect it with his Tangyu sword, and then Kai eventually defeats her by plunging the sword right through her head. On the other hand, Wei Shi and Lord Kira come face to face and engage in a duel of their own. This one, however, doesn't last long, as though Shi, filled with a vengeance, manages to kill the cruel board with a decisive blow. Wei Shi then decapitates him, take his head outside as a souvenir. He displays it in front of the fighting crowd, causing them to immediately stop. The men who were once working for Kira now bow down in respects and praise their new lord. Following day, Wei Shi and his remaining 47 Ronin travel to Arko to pay homage and Lord Asan his grave there. They're confronted by an enraged shogun who can do mess their actions and announces that they will all be hanged. However, out of respect for Lord Asana, he changes his stance and offers them the self-kill option. When a nice guy, as the group is preparing for their execution, Kivas to reunite with Maker, he says that they are destined to get married perhaps in the next life. The Ronins them get ready for their demise, but just then the shogun, her